Hi guys, Peter Finch here and welcome down to the Quest Golf Studio. And today's video is all about wrist hinge and exactly where the wrist should be hinging during the backswing and downswing. Now, wrist hinge is a little bit subjective because if you look across all of the world's best players, their wrist hinge are similar, definitely similar, but they don't all occur at exactly the same time. So you do have players who set their wrists very quickly in the backswings, and you do have players whose wrist hinge are very late during the backswing. And then some players maintain that wrist hinge during the downswing a little bit longer than others. So it is a little bit subjective into how you actually incorporate your wrist hinge into your swing. But what I'll do is I'll give you a few guidelines, a few options, and then it's up to you to go away and play with these, have a go, and see how you get on. Now, first of all, the basics. What is wrist hinge? Wrist hinge is during the backswing. As the club travels away from the ball, the wrists start to cock or hinge upwards, and it sets the wrists into a position where the shaft gets to about 90 degrees from the actual left arm here, or both the forearms if you want to look at it like that. So it's effectively when the shaft gets to about 90 degrees. In general, that is one thing you see with most players. Most players will get the shaft to about 90 degrees in relation to their left arm during the backswing. Give or take a few degrees, but that's generally accepted as a good technical position. But again, there are exceptions to that, but generally that is what you do tend to see. The only question is really when in the backswing you want these wrists to hinge and exactly in what direction you want them to hinge as well. One thing you do need to not worry about, but concern yourself with slightly is as you take the club back and the wrists do hinge, let's make sure that when they hinge up, the back of the left wrist remains relatively flat and relatively parallel to the actual left forearm here. If the left wrist starts to go this way, the club is going to become closed because the wrist will start to bow. If it goes the other way, the wrist is going to become cupped and the club face is going to open during the backswing. Now, generally, you do want the wrist just to hinge up nice and naturally and get parallel to the back of the left forearm. Some players do bow the wrist. Dustin Johnson, obviously a very good example, and then they manage to kind of correct this during the downswing. So you can bow and you can slightly cup during the backswing and get away with it, but certainly it's a lot easier if you try and keep that club face neutral during the backswing. So most people will benefit from actually getting a little bit of wrist set into their swing by actively thinking about it. However, other people will certainly benefit and will certainly find it easier just to let the wrist set naturally. Now, what I mean by that is during the downswing, during the backswing, should I say, you can get players, and I certainly do this with some of my clients, getting them to swing the club away in the left arm and the shaft until it's parallel to the ground. Now from here, actively trying to get people to get that shaft pointing up at the sky and create that angle. Now, when you create angle like that, it can almost seem a little bit robotic because you're swinging by numbers a little bit. So you're taking it away to position A, getting the wrists into position B, and then continuing the backswing. Now, it can certainly get you up to a very good position at the top of the swing, and like I said, this does work for some people. However, other people, you can just simply get them swinging the club away into a similar position, so the left arm shaft parallel to the ground, but then that toe pointing up at the sky, and actually just continue to turn the shoulders, and those wrists will set naturally. But just notice the difference in the positions that they set. So in the first position, a very Ledbetter led kind of technique, you'd say, because he was very much in favour of this kind of early preset. Taking it away, there. Just notice that the wrists are setting much earlier in the backswing. Now with the natural set, the actual set of the wrist happens a lot later as it gets to the top of the swing. Now normally what you'll find is that people who set their wrist more naturally, so more of the second swing, it happens much later during the backswing. Whilst people who preset their wrists, it happens much earlier in the backswing. There is no correct answer to this question. You know, there's no real 100% guaranteed way that those wrists are going to be set correctly. What you need to do is go away and experiment and find out for yourself. But if you follow that general guide, so making sure the wrists aren't bowing or cupping, that they're staying parallel to the left forearm or right forearm if you're a left-hander. Now the first one is getting it set a little bit earlier, and then swinging through. That has the feeling to me that the swing is actually a little bit quicker. It's a little bit more snappier. While the second swing, where the wrist set that a little bit later, feels a little bit more languid. It certainly feels much slower in speed, but both are actually producing very, very similar shots as far as kind of total distance and carry distance are concerned. It's a very kind of similar shot indeed. So, guys, take this away and have a go. Please let me know what you think. Let me know which one of these you prefer, but please have a go and try. There's certainly, this is with the full swing by the way, there are different wrist sets for the shorter swings, which I can do videos on. If you want me to, please comment in the box below. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Follow me on my other social media platforms. Make sure you subscribe to the Quest channel because there's going to be lots of videos coming out of this studio, a joint channel between myself and Rick Shields. Right guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.